camera better, so
We'll put it in the middle. You can unplug it. Is it? Because it seems darker.
we're not worried about that right now. We just want to get everybody in this camera as best we can.
And a little grainy.
Okay, you want to go back to this? Both
We're
of
gonna
them
be
working
on
now,
both of
actually.
them.
Yeah, let's go. We just switched them out. We good. Yeah.
Oh my God! I always get so
You know it's
excited.
loud, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so let's push live for this one. Oh wait, go live. I hope we can see how many people are watching.
KW. I'm just
more-
doing KWW.
KWIW.
WIW.
Where did you put it?
Click that again.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, it's saying ad title. Let's just go live.
Okay.
I'll do it. Hello.
Hello.
My music. We finally logged on.
It's all right.
Oh, I don't think they can see. Welcome to Keeping Washington in Washington with me, Zakia Lopez. And I have a special guest today. And of course, you already know Rick, who's another fellow realtor in the DC area. But sitting beside me is the man, the legend, Jammin' Jeff.
What up?
And we came to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, obviously, but you know, my show really tries to keep people's minds going about what other things can you do, especially when COVID hit. I wanted just to kind of get people excited about trying to find new things to do in order to make money, to be productive, to stay sane, all of those things. So that's what we talk about up here. And today we're actually going to be speaking about mortgages versus cash purchases. So that'll be interesting. Of course, everybody knows Jeff as Jammin' Jeff. He's the drummer for Groovers, now Still Familiar. And you kind of do it with a lot of people. I've seen you like guest drum and stuff.
Yeah. Kind of played with a lot of groups throughout the years of my whole drumming career.
You started with Groovers, though, right?
No, actually.
No?
Actually, me and your cousin had a band together. Me and
Oh, Greg.
I think I
What
heard
was
about
y'all
that
called?
for a split
Total
second.
Groove.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I'm so young. I thought y'all was the Northeast youngest. I was like, that's my cousin and them. Okay, sorry, wrong group. Well, good. So the last time we were up here, we were kind of talking about
What were we talking about?
go.
When was that? We've been gone a little while.
We have. It's a Happy New Year, everyone. We have champagne to toast, but someone told me it's been 8 days. Get over it. So
Just to save y'all the drama. You want to have a New
cheers
Year's
to the
Eve
new
party.
year. But we were talking about go-go
Okay.
and is it going to stay alive, and you know, do other people listen to it? And I wish you would have been here. Like, I want to get your take on it. Where do you think it's going? Because now we have the Go-Go Museum, and I really love how everyone's pulling together just to say keep Go-Go alive. They tried to mute us. They were tearing up the Capitol. You know,
That's the same folks?
I mean, probably.
Probably.
They're related.
They are related, probably. Yeah.
They're
yeah,
probably
yeah,
related.
yeah.
Cheers. You know, I say what I
You know,
want.
Get your cousin.
Get your cousin. What do you think about that?
Well, I think go-go, I think we're here to stay. I don't think we're going anywhere no time soon. I think with all the new movements that's going on, and, don't mute DC, and, all of the other movements that they just started in the museum, that's something new that, we never really had before. So
Yeah.
I would really say that it's definitely taking a transition to, open up more doors, getting more places that we never really been in before.
And didn't they do something in the city? Didn't the city do something for go-go? Like, didn't they classify it as something or something? I thought they did something where it kind of...
Well, Chuck Brown, they made the street name for Chuck Brown.
Right.
So that was a landmark, and they, had a few places where they kind of, I guess the area was, kind of like Fort Chuck. I think also Little Benny too.
Okay.
He got a little bit anyway.
Yeah, so they really, stepping up.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people, a lot of the older guys kind of pushing, forward for new change, new ideas, new direction. And, it just takes the older guys like us and, like you was talking earlier, to get with the youngins and just keep it going. That's just like any music. The youngins, pretty much they take over and change it and keep it rolling. You know,
Right.
just like rap, you know, like
Let's
the
try
older
to
guys.
keep some of those
So where
same
do they
band
play at,
names and
though?
get new members. That's what I want. Same band names, just new members, so it'll be around forever.
Well, that's what we were talking about.
Wow,
Because the Temptations,
never heard
you
of
said
that.
do
Yeah,
that.
same band name, Rare Essence, can be here for 60 years. You just
Wow,
switch out the
wow.
members.
That's
I know how
Then
you
it,
don't love
it crosses
it.
over,
Do
you
you
know,
love it?
generations.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, we were asking how many new bands. What do they play? Because I think the newest band to me, and like Familiar is not new, but your names keep changing. So it's like all the bands I see have changed name. Like Project 71, they turned Subtles No More, and you know all of that. So
and he
But
gave us
to
a little
me-
background on how that works, but I didn't know that. So yeah.
well, to me, I think those are the best bands, and I haven't really heard of any other ones. I think I've heard of UCB, TCB, but you have mentioned some other ones.
Mhm.
Who are they?
Well, you know, I don't want to get to dropping names.
Okay, we
but
won't
Yeah.
name
people be like,
drop.
oh, you didn't say my name right.
Oh, that's
Good
true.
move.
I
Good
know
move.
Mental Attraction, they, you know, kind of coming up. What's the Mature Clientele? Like, I love them.
Oh.
They be cranking. It's actually a ton of bands.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch.
Shout
of
out to
bands.
all of them, man,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
know, so that's good to hear.
Well, yeah, because we had
That's good to hear.
concluded, because we had spoken to some of the guys, because we're in self-made studios, and so there's active recording and all types of stuff going on right now. And they were like, it's only about 5. We came up with 5. He's the one that's like, it's going to die. Me, I'm
I'm
going to go
scared.
for life.
I'm scared.
So,
My
I
son
don't-
doesn't listen. He hates it. He's 14.
Zoe is 6, and she loves
She don't have a
it.
choice.
She
She hear it all day, every day. She don't have much of a choice.
she loves it. So, but I'm glad to hear that. And so
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, it's probably not my crowd to go see, but maybe some of my cousins can go see these bands.
Keep Go Alive, y'all.
Now you said it's not in your crowd to go see.
Well, I don't know, but I'm thinking they're younger
Go see,
kids.
you
Like,
gonna see Still Familiar?
no. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, you know,
I have.
you know, every I would guess every section of the go-go, if I want to call it that,
Mhm.
because we like, you know, grown in sections.
Yeah,
Right, that's the
yeah.
kind I like.
A little older,
Yeah.
but you know, you got the youngins. Actually, a lot of the older parents, they come with their kids. Their kids come and they come to see us
Okay.
as well. So you know, we more relaxed. You know,
Yeah,
not too
yeah.
hardcore. Everybody
Yeah.
want to come and do
Yeah.
the 2-step. So
Gotcha.
I mean, you of course you'll love it for sure if you come out and
Yeah.
check it out. I mean, but the bounce beat is cool too. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
everybody, you know, they like what they
A
like.
little flavor for everybody.
Yeah, and I just think that you know, it's just really educating yourself. You know, because once
I
you
think
educate
so.
yourself about it, you'll understand it, you'll appreciate it, and then
Mhm.
you'll be like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I can come check this out.
Yeah.
Same
Well,
too. I
what
can bring my
about-
mother, I can bring my grandmother. or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, you know?
And I think that's true for all go-go.
Right.
Actually being there for it, because that's the other argument that we talk about, that people that are not from here, if they hear it on the CD, they don't understand it, which I've witnessed, which really makes me angry. And then I'm like, oh, you know, my best friend from New York, I took her to see Essence one time and she loved it. At first,
Yeah.
she thought it was, they call it jungle music or whatever, you know, but I think it's better served. Well, I mean, I like it.
I think the
both
best
ways.
way to really appreciate it, learn to appreciate it, is to see it live. I think that gives you a better appreciation.
Probably
for
so.
it.
I can agree with
versus-
that.
You know, because it's raw.
Mhm.
And that's what people don't understand. It's raw. It's not in the studio. So the sound's going to be different when you
Hmm.
listen to it on a CD versus when you listen to something that's been produced in a studio where they got sound filters and, you know, covers and screens for the microphone. It's going to sound different. So I think that raw sound is what people don't see.
Understand.
Yeah, they don't understand it.
But when they go to Louisiana, they have raw music and they seem to understand that. So
But they're there in Louisiana. See, again,
Oh, well,
they're
that's
right
true.
there. But
Right.
if you try to listen to that on a CD, somebody
You're
brings
like,
you.
what is that?
You probably
yeah,
like,
because
what
I
is
don't
that?
have an
Yeah.
appreciation for Zydeco.
Yeah,
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 you're
yeah.
right about that. You know, going to the shows live and just seeing it, and even me, you know, I'm pretty cool. You know, we all,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
try to be cool when we at the show like this, and I
Yeah.
go see another band before we start, and I'm sitting in the corner. But the next day, you know, I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
like, oh my god, going crazy. So, you know, it's just, you know, once you hear that live and that beat, and when that beat
Yeah.
starts pumping and it hits you, it just kind of drag you and
Yeah.
pulls
That's
you in.
exactly right.
You know, no matter how old we get and we get away from it, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when we get away from it, we come back and we hear, we like, oh man,
Yeah.
it just bring us back. To
I think
our
that's what we. I think that's what we love is the rawness of it.
yeah.
Cats just got together and
They know how to
maybe
play
they got
and
some music
sing.
background, maybe they don't, but
Right,
they
right.
learn
Mhm.
on the job. And you go to the show and they put this stuff together, and it's
Real talent is
yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
real, like you said, raw
I
talent.
love it.
It doesn't need to be chopped and screwed or whatever.
I love it.
You know, it's to
You
me
know.
perfect in
I
every
mean, one thing I can say about Gogo, I mean, Gogo really had the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
People
Mhm.
that follow us. Because I was on the show last night talking also, and the gentleman was saying that he don't know how he had enough money to be in all those shows throughout the years.
Right.
And if you think about it, the fans come see us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nights a week.
Yeah,
We're 7,
Yeah.
so we might
Yeah.
have 2 shows.
Yeah,
on Saturday,
I've
2
heard
shows on a
cats.
Sunday.
Yeah, I've heard
I
cats.
mean, when I was in
Doubling up.
Northeast, I remember we was having like maybe 10, 12 shows
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Even with familiar faces, familiar
Yeah.
faces.
Might
Team
play somewhere
Familiar,
early,
Still
then go
Familiar.
play somewhere later that night.
Yeah. And then I had the fans to come spend that kind of money.
Mhm.
And, to be able to support and be
Yeah.
there, like, we got the best fans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Best
now that's
fans in
true
the world.
because sometimes, especially going to see different bands at different times, it can be just like buying a ticket to the concert,
Right,
Mhm.
right.
you
right.
know, and it's well worth it to me.
I mean, if you think about it, you think of like
It is a
let's say
concert.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Jay-Z might do a tour for whatever how long they
Yeah.
might do the tour for,
Mhm.
and then they stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we on a consistent tour.
Consistent.
Like I've been on a tour for 30 years.
30 years. That's
30
crazy.
years playing on the tour.
Live.
That's
That's
live.
crazy.
Well, that
crazy.
really kind
I
of
never thought about it
me
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and all of you have. I mean, because
Yeah, all of us.
That's a hell of a run.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, and if you think about it, like I'm not a musician. I don't think about it like you just said. You've been on tour this whole time. You don't really have breaks. Maybe this is the closest thing to a break.
This is the first break.
Yeah,
You gave yourself
okay.
away a little bit too, Jeff, because you said you've been on tour 30 years. And I don't think the folks even
I'm
thought you was
25.
30. Right.
I'm
No.
glad y'all can't really see me. I'm
Right.
hiding.
He's trying to hide over. No, well, that brings me to my point because a lot of us we're getting older and
Right.
we're still talented. So, but there's other talents to fulfill. And so, what is everyone doing? What are you doing now in addition to your musician skills?
Well, for me, I've been studying actually business music, the music business.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
I just started about a year ago around this time. And for me, trying to take it to a different level. Of course, the talks is always with any musician, anybody that's from DC,
Mhm.
why Go never make it outside of DC.
Mhm.
Next question.
so
yeah.
That's always the talk
Yeah,
as
yeah.
to why.
Mhm.
And for me, the thing is, Go has already really made it. We already
Mhm.
made it. If you look at Trouble Funk, you look at EU,
Yeah.
you look at all the bands before us, Rare Asses, they all Junkyard back in the day. They were signed to Def
man.
Jam.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they
were
really,
they? I didn't know that.
yeah. And it's some incredible stories, from the Go-Go guys,
Mhm.
especially the older guys.
Okay.
I've been in the studio a lot lately, bringing in some of the older cats, sat
Okay.
down, had a real good long discussion with Junie that used
Okay.
that sing for EU,
Yeah.
and just was blown away
Okay.
from the things that he was saying. And if I tell y'all one story, y'all be blown away.
I'm
And if
sure.
the world,
I'm sure.
but I
I'm
can
sure.
share it. But so me, I've been just really educating myself on the
Yeah,
music, educating myself on the business of music and the
Mhm.
business of go-go. And I think that's what we need,
Yeah.
especially the go-go community. We need to understand the business of
Of
music.
the music.
That's
That's right.
Because we can
Yeah.
keep it going. It's just knowing how to do it the right in a
Right.
proper way.
Right.
To
Right.
get it out more to the world.
Mhm.
Because again, go-go has made it. But
Yeah.
if you look at the songs that go-go made it from, it's like old stuff.
That's
Right.
right.
Like
That's
everything
right.
is old. So you do have the new stuff as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was thinking about because the other argument is, oh, they're just cover bands. They just cover songs, which really rock way harder than the
Mhm.
actual song a lot of
In
times.
most cases. Yeah.
I was thinking, I know that Essence did some with Snoop just now, and I was thinking about how I heard it as a huge go-go fan. It seems like, and that's not the first mass-produced go-go. I think, what is his name? Sugar Bear. I think he did it the best.
Okay.
The biggest. I'll say the biggest.
Well, I'll say the
When you say
best
the
as
biggest,
far
down the butt?
as
Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
saying it as far as bringing it to the masses, making people understand it and like it. With and then I think Salt and Pepper because they had their whole thing going. But I was thinking about how talented well, look, I don't play anything, but
You from DC, so we can
that's
say
good
we.
enough. That's right. So, how talented you all are, and I think that because whoever the musicians that you're working with at the time, because they don't understand, they don't know, they're not from here, they don't allow them to put that crank on it, like it's supposed to crank.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know the Snoop song very well. I know I've heard it a couple of times, and with Essence, I know Essence crank.
Well, I think that's part of the business, though, right?
Mhm.
Trying to make it kind of fit in, which may take away from it to a certain extent of what you're talking about, but trying to make it kind of cross over those different.
It can. I just don't
genres.
think it
You
was
know.
done properly. And I think that you learning about the business, music business, and that whole part of it can be very fruitful for everyone because now you know, like you play the drum, like you the heart of the whole thing.
Mhm.
And you're going to be able to translate it to whatever record label decides, oh, that's the hot new thing. We can get money off of this without them watering it down.
The beauty of it now too is you don't need record labels, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing.
Yeah, so that's a new avenue.
Well, it's funny that you said that because go-go is almost like if you go see, like one of my favorite artists is Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
I love Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he's good.
And I like I love pop R&B.
Mhm.
That's what I would call it.
Mhm.
So when you hear
Do
his,
people know that he loves pop in the army? Like,
oh yeah,
He made his own genre, pop R&B.
Pop R&B.
Yeah, okay.
So if you listen to his CD and you hear it, right, you be like, okay, wow, this is nice, you love it. But when you go to the show, see, I'm a musician. When I go to, I can't go to a show.
Mhm.
I'm sweating.
You dissecting.
I'm going crazy.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You really
it
get
puts
into
the
it.
heart in you.
Yeah.
By being all musicians will tell you this. If you ever go to a concert and you with a musician and you see them, they like, oh my God, oh, they grabbing their head. They
taking it in totally different than we are,
Now,
right?
you might be dancing with a musician like,
yeah.
whoa, they yelling, going crazy.
Gotcha.
And see, we'll be sweating like we've been dancing.
Because y'all understand the art deep.
We understand the art.
Yeah.
So when you hear the live and they doing the transition, that's how go-go is.
Mhm.
So go-go, we can really win
That's
bigger than I believe any other art form because we do live shows
On a regular.
nonstop.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Y'all got
when you want to see a band, you want to see them crank live.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we do live so much, it's like we can just do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like the go-go, we just have so many elements that we can run, that we can win from. It's just really putting it all together, making sure the business is right so the world can understand it.
Yeah, but good luck with it, man.
How many of the others do you see at your shows?
Other band members?
No.
Or band?
Other people of other white people.
Oh, you mean
She always find a way.
I got you.
I wanted to-
Other demographics.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, it depends on the show.
Mhm.
Let's say we would play what's that? Downtown we would play for, I forget what it's called.
But they come to the park, like you're saying, when you're outside, because that's an outside show, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when I see them, when I go, because I still go to the free, when they
all
when they
races
had
love
them.
it. All races love
Yeah.
music. I mean, if you look at some of the old videos from Junkyard, and even Northeast Groovers, we used to play way out in Virginia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And used to have a bunch of international,
Really?
crowd of people there. Yeah, I mean, I believe all people love go-go. I mean, especially here in DC, you got a lot of people that I don't like it, don't mute, but you have a lot of races that love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just any kind of art form of music.
It's the track.
People
it's
can
the
appreciate it
track.
across all genres of folks, all
So
ethnic
that's
backgrounds,
the
I should
thing.
say.
I think that's the whole thing we can conclude is that it's the live show is what really gets it going, and it really gives you the real appreciation for go-go. Me, I still listen to CDs because I got them classics. And I listen to the YouTube, which is nice, but I'm telling you, I appreciate it all the way around.
Well, the CDs is actually the way to go now, meaning internet music.
Yes,
as
it's
far
the
as-
only
because
way to
there's no
go.
shows right now.
Right.
So that's definitely the movement that I believe a lot of the bands need to really pay attention to that we haven't been. And you know, I've been again doing my research and looking at some of the bands online that's on Spotify and Apple Music.
Okay.
All of those platforms. And you have a few, but it's not a lot.
Right.
I mean, you have a ton of live shows, you know, because we play live. But you know, as far as getting it out to the world, we need more of that. We need more
streaming.
like you said,
Streaming.
the live CD, if it's live or if it's original, you know, it doesn't
Recordings
matter.
of
Just
it.
put the content out there, because the more content you have, the more people would, you know, tune in. And that's going to make the world wake up and be like, okay, what's this? What's this kind of music? Because everybody haven't really heard it yet. You know, so we got a long way to go.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about the well, because of COVID, everybody performs online. You've had an online performance. Everybody, we've been watching from the couch. So do you know of newer bands have been doing, like, is their following as big? Like, I'm completely.
Well, everybody is doing the live streams. All the bands are.
Okay, good.
And, you know, we actually, our numbers is crazy. I believe our live stream was maybe 70,000.
Wow.
Close to 100,000.
More than you could ever get in the show.
Wow. I was going to say, Essence had a lot.
Yeah, Essence had a lot. Y'all backyard. You know, everybody.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. And if you look it up on YouTube and see, I believe that the count is there.
Yeah.
I mean, the following was crazy.
Wow.
We was blown away. Like, wow, we had these many streams of people that's just looking. So, I mean, we definitely can do it. I mean, that should show you right there.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Well, that's good. You seem like you are learning a lot about the business, so it will be just a matter of time. You're multifaceted. You already play the drums. You probably play other stuff, but you're also into real estate, kind of heavy.
Yep.
So, and that's what we're all about. We're realtors, and so we love that. My whole goal is go do something productive and profitable, and real estate is, if nothing else, is profitable.
Sure is.
So tell me about how you got into that.
Well, real estate, I started real estate way back in '95.
Oh, wow. Did you, were you a realtor?
No, actually, I was in the cars as a young kid. My father used to say, hey, son, instead of you buying them cars, you need to invest in real estate. I'm like, I don't want to invest in real estate. What is real estate? What is real estate?
Wow.
You know, I heard about it, but my whole family on my father's side was either a real estate investor, rehab, a flipper, or they was a contractor. So it's so funny how I got started, as you say. My father told me that on a Friday, so I went to pick my kids up, and I was keeping them over the weekend. They was young, so they was jumping around in the bed, and I was asleep Saturday morning, waking up. TV was on. I'm waking up. Y'all be quiet. My eyes open. Guess who I see on the TV? Carlton Sheets, real estate course. You need to join in real estate now. You need to, you know, change your life. Real estate is the best ever. When I saw that, I said, wow, this is something must be speaking to me. Took down the course, you know, the number, called it, and never turned back. Wow. Actually, on that course, I was the highest producing real estate investor from this whole area.
Wow.
And they actually had me on the course.
Thank you.
And if you look at, if you pull up Carlton Sheets, he has his little courses. I was in the course with my ex-wife at the time. And that's how a lot of people knew I was in real estate, because they saw me on TV, of course, and all of that. So that's how I started.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is amazing. See,
self-taught.
Because, and so that's my whole premise. I just want anyone who doesn't know that those sorts of things and generating an income from real estate, those sorts of things can be, if you have good enough sense, can be done, like you said, self-taught. I mean, because all it does take is the gumption to get out there and do it, and a little bit of research. I mean, it's interesting information anyways. So I think that's awesome. So what are you working on right now?
Well, I'm trying to build a team of investors where we can approach deals without a hard money lender. And also I'm trying to teach, and really I want to name it, don't make the same mistakes I made, or don't do what I did.
I was going to ask you about that.
I just want to help, you know, other people, you know, to be successful. And I helped a lot of people be successful. I mean, his guys I helped, they was doing better than me. I'm like, good Lord. I mean, but that's great. You know, you want people to do better than you, so they can have those testimonies. But me, I'm trying to build a team where when I approach a deal, I can just buy it with the team without calling a hard money lender.
So you're trying to move into that, not to cut you off, where we're talking about cash versus the mortgage, or especially a hard money. You're trying to go in with the cash to pay for it in full.
Right. I'm like a scientist in a sense.
Yeah.
I try to figure out what works and what don't work and what mechanics make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I've been in it for so long, and I dealt with so many hard money lenders and investors and people. I just see where you can win in another way as long as you know the information. I mean, if you look at it, hard money lenders, they make about what 10 to 20% of your money.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Sure.
first you got to put down 10 to 15%. Let's say that's 20, 30,000, 40,000 based on the number.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to start to work up. That's like 20,000, 30,000. They give you the drawback.
Mhm.
But in some cases, not every
Mhm.
hard money lender,
Mhm.
but in some cases they gouge you on
Yeah.
how much work you did. You know, you did 5% and you did 100%. I just put 50,000 into the first draw and you only give me 20.
Right.
So if you look at it like that, you feel like sometimes some guys, they might, that's their way of making
That's how they
more
make
money.
money,
If the longer that they can kind of drag it out, the more money they make. So
Right.
I'm looking at it in the sense of if I not put up that 40,000,
Right.
if I don't put up that first draw, that's 60,000 that I could
Skip the
just put
middleman.
into the property.
That's right.
Versus giving it away to somebody else.
Right.
Then I got to pay points and interest. Then I got to pay a monthly mortgage payment, every month.
Right.
So how can you win and you paying all that?
Yeah, it's tough.
We look at it as investors. We never look at it like that.
Right.
We just be like, okay, we just gonna keep flipping.
Flipping
Okay,
it
boom,
and
I
get the
made
money.
40,000. I'm
Mhm.
gonna dash it into the next property, call the next lender. Okay,
Right.
boom, I made 100. I'm gonna go over here and just do this.
Do it
I
and
mean,
flip it again.
how many can honestly say, they taking at least 20 to 30%, putting it aside, saving it for a rainy day?
Right.
Because next thing you know, you done bust open the wall.
Mm.
Oh my God. Oh, the framing is messed up.
Yeah.
The wood is dry rot.
Yeah.
Okay, pulled up the floor. Oh, the floor joists is messed up. Oh, it's crooked. That's another 20. So that 30 that you done put, boom.
Yeah. It's
Now you
stacked
got to
up.
put it right
That's
there.
right.
But guess what? It wasn't on your draw report, so the lender ain't giving you that draw.
They ain't getting it back. Right.
So to me, I just look at it as a way we got to just be a little more, not smarter, but just make a little better decision on which way we want to go. And I just think the way to go is just without hard money.
Yeah. I understand that completely. And you try to be your own bank.
Yeah.
And that is the way to
Absolutely.
go at the end of the day, you know. Draw from your own cash flow.
And start small.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is everybody want to, do so many.
That's right.
And I can't talk about anybody because I was the same one.
Uh-huh.
I was doing 15 to 20 deals at one time.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
15 to 20 rehabs at one time.
Wow.
And
That's
guess what?
crazy.
I had interest monthly payments.
Yeah.
Throw out a number. Can you
I
imagine?
can't even begin. 50?
Close to it.
Okay.
It was so stressful.
Okay,
I had to go to the hospital.
50K. Wow.
And I had to get the things on my chest.
Man.
It was so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To pay that kind of money.
Yeah.
Then
You on the
run
hook
into
every month for 50K of that.
50K. Yeah. And then not only that, don't let something mess
Go
up.
wrong. Right.
Oh man. Woo.
Right. Man.
So it's like now it could have worked.
Yeah.
Which it did, but
the level of stress you had to take.
Yeah.
I mean, to have to
Too
go to
much
the house.
stress.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you're a young man.
young.
Yeah.
I'm definitely young.
Yeah. You're
Well,
a young man. But you made it work.
Yeah.
So now you're saying you want to move to where our argument again, cash and I was coming from a different angle because you're doing it from an investor. I was thinking more for the normal consumer, which route is better to go. And I think
well,
it depends.
I like that he said, a lot of good things for you to think about,
Oh yeah,
not
for sure.
how much the interest rate is and not trying to put your money there and do as much as you can just to make as much as you can. Because not only is that a little greedy, but it's counterproductive. Like he's saying, he had to go and get stressed out enough to have to go to the hospital paying $50,000 a month on properties that you're still trying to flip.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and I don't even think we have that type of a market. I mean, maybe so, but right now that climate, it just seems like that would add on a lot more. At least for me, I would be
Oh, for sure. Anybody.
yeah.
20 projects?
And once.
I mean, that's difficult enough, right?
Right.
Even if it was your own cash to
Exactly.
manage.
Yeah.
But to then have to be accountable to someone else and then looking for 50,000, and then like you say, they're kind of working you on the draw, what they're going to give you, how much work you've completed. So you're dealing with a lot of different components and balancing that. That's a balancing act.
And if you think about it, what is the biggest stereotype or the biggest question in rehab? What do everybody say? Even if I come to your house and do some work, what is that question?
Usually, how much did that cost? How much you pay to do it?
Right. And the biggest, and when you flipping houses is what you gonna charge.
Yeah,
When the contractor come in, okay, my budget is 10, but it costs 20.
that's right.
Now that
You
is
know,
true.
mhm.
But
That is true.
in the way I look at it, if I can knock out the lender, if I
You
don't
have
need the lender,
to.
Yeah.
guess what? I can pay him
That's right.
that 10, 20 if that's really what his price is.
Hmm.
And really, I can go into it blind because
Mhm.
think about it. The success in real estate is your numbers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Based on what you're going to make, based on what your outsell is, your rehab, and all your numbers in between. Number one is the
Mhm.
number.
That's right.
But a lot of people think, oh, it's the property. It's just really ain't.
No,
your
it's the
loan.
numbers.
Yep.
It's your loan.
That's going to determine.
Your loan determines.
But that's what I
everything.
always tell all of my clients. I'm like, listen, financing, that's like your first and foremost step in anything. Like with your money, find out about this money.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're really window shopping, even if you're just doing off-market deals. Like you have to make sure everything is intact and anything could arise. And
Right.
now you don't have the money for it. Now you're out and you owe someone. So
That happens too.
yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
So
Right.
I think as an investor, cash is good. What would you say about for like your personal home?
Personal home, as far as
Like if you have the cash, you just want to go buy your own home and you're like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna buy it with cash. Do you think it's better to buy with cash, or do you think someone would probably should take out a mortgage? Or you think like what do you think versus
well,
those
just
two?
my opinion, I'm gonna go to a whole nother level with
Mhm.
that question you
Mhm.
just asked me. Actually, I'm gonna set it up on the LLC,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna do a shelf court,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna do a parent court. And I'm gonna just put it under the parent court,
Mm-hmm.
and then build my shelf court, save it to the side just in case I have any problems.
Mhm.
Get that LLC, write it under the LLC
Mhm.
name, and transfer the asset to the shelf court, so that way nobody won't take my asset if anything happens.
So
He's doing cash,
right,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
mortgage, but hopefully you push record on that.
but I
one.
like what you're saying though.
Well, no, you can
Yeah.
do that with a mortgage too. It's just really ways of looking at doing, just being
Different.
creative.
Yeah.
It's different ways. There's a ton of ways I can give you. You really don't even need that
But
money.
that's you're saying the way you would do it. You can do it with the mortgage, but I was saying which way do you think would be better for the average person, especially someone that is thinking about buying a house, or maybe they've lived in this posh community and they want to
Okay.
buy something now as opposed to
Here's
renting.
a let's just make up a hypothetical.
Okay.
You just inherited $500,000
Mm-hmm.
and you're thinking about,
Oh yeah, that's good.
should I want to buy a house? You want to buy a house. Would you say take the 500 or not? Maybe not even all of it. Let's say you're going to use 300,000.
300, yeah.
Would you say take $300,000? You're buying your first home to live in. Would you say I'm going to just pay 300,000 cash, or would you recommend a person to get a mortgage? Which would you? From your personal, standpoint, which
Well,
would
if
you
I
do?
had 500,000, first of all, I would take 30%, put it to the side,
Okay,
and then I'll take the rest and put it into the investments.
okay,
Now, those investments,
I'm
would
with
be-
you on that.
everything will
Yeah.
be under
uh-huh.
either a corporation or LLC.
Okay.
I would
Mhm.
not put nothing in my name.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Why wouldn't you put anything in your name? Get out a pen
Check
and
his
paper.
assets.
Number
Right.
one,
Check
right
his
there.
assets.
And two, you in the history of business, someone is always wanting to come take your stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, that's my only reason though, to not put it in your
That's
name
it.
for that.
Yeah.
So me, I want to be low key as possible.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to know
No,
anything.
anything.
That's right.
That's right.
I learned that a lot of, we all deal with hard money lenders
Mhm.
in the past and
Mhm.
people, and most of the guys are filthy rich. I
Mhm.
deal with
Drive
a
a
lot
Honda
of,
Accord.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Drive a Saturn,
Yeah.
Mhm.
flip flops,
Yep.
shorts, dirty, but their socks is clean as a mug. though.
That's right.
Socks are always clean.
That's right.
And they come and, most of the guys, they tell you a little bit. And one guy, I'll never forget it. He said, you never drive your toys to work.
That's right. I
And
like
he said,
that.
you don't do that because, the workers
People in your
think this.
business.
They
Yeah.
always
That's right.
trying to gouge you on the price anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, he got a Mercedes. He got a Bentley.
Yeah.
Oh, he could pay for it. He got the money.
I think the same.
I
thing.
just look
That's
like
true.
everybody else.
Yep.
That's it.
That's
Good
true.
advice. Never drive your toys to work. I always say it. I didn't use those words, but yeah.
Yep.
even in a real job, I don't think you should drive your toys to work. I think your coworkers start looking at you different. Your boss
They
starts looking at
do.
you different. So I agree with that philosophy.
And
100%.
sometimes I've heard you can even get passed up for like a raise or something because they're like, oh, they're fine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
never know what goes on in those meetings.
So you would, in essence, in that particular case, you would put the money in investments and you would get a mortgage, and that's the same.
And you would
train
get
of
a
thought I had.
mortgage.
It all depends.
Right.
You know, so let's say, for instance, I'm gonna give you a way if I get a mortgage. So
Mhm.
let's say I get a mortgage, right?
Mhm.
So now I got to pay a monthly payment.
That's right.
Right.
So what I would do is take another 20% of that money, put it aside.
Right.
Let's say the monthly payments is what, 2,000.
2000.
Take 2,000 times 3 years,
Mhm.
whatever that figure is, and just put it in the bank and let
Yeah,
it automatically
so
come out. So 3 years, I got time to do something else with that other money.
That's right.
I don't have to worry about that mortgage payment. I'm set for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's done.
So I take whatever that's left,
Mhm.
use that, go to something else,
Mhm.
another
Mhm.
investment,
Yeah.
or you know, if I want to buy another house. And then two, just search around just to see what creative ideas you can find out from different banks.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to use a hard money limit, but I would use a bank.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So, for an example, Navy Federal, I don't know if they still doing it because of the COVID and everything, but at first they would do 3 personal houses in your personal name and 10 in your business name. So I
Wow.
go to Navy Federal, get possibly, you know, 3 different houses in my personal, only just to get the loan, and then
Mhm.
I'll come back and refinance it to put it under the business. Now, the
Okay.
reason why I would do that because Navy Federal, they only lend to a certain, they don't lend on houses that need to be fixed up.
Right.
They only lend after the house is finished.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I, you know, go to Navy Federal, put that loan in my personal name, go ahead and if I'm going to live there or whatever,
Right.
then go ahead and refinance it to the business name, get it on the business
Mhm.
side.
Mhm.
And then if I want to buy the Bentley,
Yeah.
guess what? Guess who's going to pay for my Bentley?
Well, not you.
Who's that?
The bank.
No.
No?
Properties.
I used to do it all the time.
I feel like it's the bank. Well, okay, so I'm wrong.
Not the bank either.
Who you got? Your properties? Your
Yeah.
LLC?
Uh-uh.
Who you got
The
paying
tenants.
Oh,
okay.
the tenant.
You got tenants in
You
there.
didn't
Gotcha.
mention tenant.
Gotcha.
Well, when I
I'm
Get the
thinking of
property.
flipping.
Yeah.
get the property, I'm gonna transfer it over to my business name
And
then
hold
they-
it.
And I'm gonna hold it. Then I'm gonna
Okay.
rent it out.
Gotcha.
Then let's
Gotcha.
say, of course, I'm smart, so I bought the house, you know, less than 60 to 65% LTV. I
Mhm,
probably
mhm.
refinanced it from the personal to the business. They gave me an 80% loan, so I got 20% left.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is go buy a car, refinance it under the business note.
Right.
Then my mortgage is what, $1,500. The rent is paying me $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna refinance that car for $50,000 in that mortgage. So 50,000 amortized over 30 years
Yeah.
is what, $100?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In a 30, year
Yeah,
loan.
yeah, yeah.
30
So
there, young.
tenants
Yeah.
gonna pay for
That's
that.
right. I like that.
Well, that's
I used to do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all can tell he's deep in
especially
the
if
game,
you
can't
buy
you?
and hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really good. I was thinking of it more, you know, just to because I think getting a mortgage, like you're saying, having it and not in your name and all of that, that's why I think that's a good way. I'm not really sure. I would say someone that's buying a house, not for the first time or unless you're going to flip it, it would be a good idea to buy it all cash. I don't see the huge benefit in that.
I'm
To
going to
do
say
what?
one.
To buy
I
it
can give you a scenario, and that's why I was telling you earlier. I think it depends. Let's say there's a property that's an off-market deal. We know somebody's selling for 300.
Mm-hmm.
We know easy 500,000 easy. Doesn't need a lot of work. You know, we hope
Right.
fingers crossed. And I mean, in that instance, yeah, because you can do what he said.
Right.
You can spend the 300. You
Mhm.
know, you already got 200,000 in equity. You go to the bank
Right.
right away. They're gonna give you that 80%. It's
Right.
400,000. They're gonna give you
Mm-hmm.
on that property.
Mhm.
So the property's paid off. You got your cash back, right? You got the
Right.
mortgage, but now you can take your cash and again
Right.
repeat.
Okay.
Wash,
And
rinse,
like they
rinse,
say, the
repeat.
key is, and we all know this, is spend as less money
As
That's it.
possible.
as possible of your own.
Yeah,
Spend the bank's money.
yeah. Spend the bank's
You don't
money.
want to mess up on your
Spend
money,
the
but you don't
bank's
want to
money.
mess up on nobody's money. You know,
And the reason he says to move, this is they don't want you to know some of this information. Those properties to business thing, I changed came in because credit didn't get affected.
Yeah.
Yours, the
Mhm.
businesses might have, but yours didn't.
Yeah. That's the whole purpose behind that.
so that's why I would say kind of get it out of the business, the personal,
Yeah,
if you can.
absolutely.
But if you can't, you know, cool,
Yeah.
because you know you're messing up that tier. But you know, somebody that's starting out, you know, that's trying to get established, you know, banks really not lending you nothing until you have a house under your name.
Mhm.
You know, they
Right.
figure that, oh, okay, they got a house. I can lend them some money to
Yeah.
buy a car. I can give them a credit card.
Yeah.
Because something happened, I can attach this to the
Right.
car. They got something attachable.
So it would be good for a person that's first starting out that probably doesn't have the capital and they don't have all of the connections
Yeah.
or maybe the scores or a home yet.
And by no means are we saying if you don't have the cash, not to get a mortgage.
Right.
Please don't get that confused. If you
Yes,
have-
but
definitely
still
helps
put
you.
it under an LLC.
no, I if you can, but like I don't want to discourage anybody. Oh, I don't have 300,000 in cash, so maybe I shouldn't buy a house right now.
What would
Because that's what folks will think. You're saying that if you don't have 300,000, you shouldn't get a mortgage. So I got to make sure my folks know if you're in a situation where you have the capital, you got to really sit back and analyze which way to go.
Always protect
Yeah.
yourself. That's the
Always,
biggest thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you also got to look out, just for your credit. Do a marriage with somebody.
Mhm.
Marriage is called where if you're a husband and wife, don't put everything in both names. Don't do it joint. Do it in one. So that way, if somebody mess up, you can go to the next one. That's called a merge.
I know a lot of
Mhm.
folks that
Back
do
and
that.
forth.
We tend to, a lot of different ethnic groups that do that actually, because they, for one, you can't even tell if they're married because the way they do their last names, you don't know if those folks are married half the time, or if they even change. A lot of times they don't change their last name, and it's just a cultural thing.
Right.
Mhm.
They don't change their last name, so there's no real connection that you can see. And so, like you
Right.
said, that they'll purchase in the wife's name.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes awry, or even if it doesn't, they still got that buying power under the husband's name.
Right.
So they can easily have two mortgages, same household,
Right.
and get that same 95% loan from the bank twice, because that's rare to do. The bank's gonna, if it's one person or a couple trying to do it on that second mortgage, they're gonna say,
Mhm.
well, you got one house, this is investment property, we need more money down.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, like he said, protect yourself and find creative ways to make it happen.
And what you also want to do too is, starting out with your kids,
Yeah.
build them corporations while they're young,
Mhm.
so they can start building their profile too.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my daughters. What I did, of course, we all have heard the story. What I did, I set them up corporations, and what I did, of course, put them on my credit cards. Cards was 30% below, the balance. Put them on the cards. They didn't have no credit score. Score
Mhm.
jumped up, 700, 750.
Mhm.
And then, what they opened up account, boom, went to the bank, line of credit on their self, 20, 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a car, apartment. They live
We
better than me.
set.
So
Yeah.
that is
Early
one
too,
point
early
I do.
because they didn't have to figure it out. You had
Exactly.
already kind of gave them the blueprint.
Yeah.
and
And
set
see,
it
I
up
didn't
for
have
them.
nobody to kind
Yeah.
of show that
For sure.
stuff to me. So
Yeah.
me, just really want to put them in a position where they don't have to really struggle. And the biggest thing is ask people for money to build their businesses, to start their business.
Right.
Where they could just borrow and, get whatever that they want at any time.
That's very important because that's the whole thing when people talk about generational wealth. Those are things that you can do to create it. I actually hadn't thought about that for Zoe because I thought maybe she would be too young.
Build it in a corporation.
So when she's old enough, the corporation will be 15 years
Yeah.
old.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a 15-year company that you own, and now
Oh,
that's what
I
they-
thought
yeah.
she should be okay.
yeah,
See, you learn
Yeah,
something.
people
new
leave
every
money
day.
in corporations. Sometimes instead of wills, they leave money in corporations because if it's in the corporation ain't gonna die as long as you pay the
Yeah.
money to keep it,
Mhm.
existing. And you don't really own a corporation.
Yeah,
You just
doesn't
run
have
a
to- yeah.
corporation. Corporation own itself.
really doesn't have to go if you got it set up correctly. You don't
Mhm.
have to go through that same probate and
Right.
who's who. It's,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So.
because it's a lot when
I like that idea. I got to get my son's old enough now. I need to. Well, I have a company,
Mhm.
but I'd like to start, like you say, just kind of show corp.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
keep it, and
That's a great idea.
Yeah, just build his and then get your 80 paydex score for the business. So that way, of course, he might do a personal guarantee, for the corporation if it's not doing anything. But I'm sure you'd have built his credit by then.
Right.
80 paydex score, he could get anything in the world.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
see,
you got to break that down for me because I only know about the Dun and Bradstreet. I don't know
Okay.
about, so I got to talk to you about that
Okay.
offline.
well, this is the purpose of this. Even though it's down to 2 people watching. Thanks for all tuning in with us. I couldn't see it every other
She's
time.
always concerned. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. She wants the whole world to be.
I want
watching
the
right
whole
now.
world to watch us because I have Jam and Jeff beside me, who is also a sick real estate investor.
Yeah.
So would you call your group you're trying to put together an investment club?
I I'm calling it the I'm forgetting the name. Building. Okay, let me look it up.
Look it up. Look it up.
I don't get it. Building together wholesalers, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, let me see.
So it's sort of like the repositioners, like what we're doing. But see, we JV some things, but
Yeah,
for the
building
most
together
part, we
wholesale.
try to help other people learn how to take the money that they're going to receive from their asset and disperse it so that they won't go broke.
Okay.
So that's really cool.
Building together wholesalers.
Mhm.
Okay.
Building together wholesalers. So if your money right, call Jeff Instagram.
Well, what we're doing is I'm looking for people to start out with at least 20 grand
Yeah.
per person.
Yeah.
And what we are going to do, because I get a lot of wholesale deals. I know you guys do too.
Mhm.
A lot of times I pass them up to
Mhm.
other investors just
Mhm.
to make the middle money really
Mhm,
quick.
mhm.
But I'm a rehab. It's so hard for
Yeah.
me to just to throw away a
Yeah.
wholesale deal.
Yeah.
That's the problem I used to have back in the day when I had my team. They used to be so mad. Jeff, let's just wholesale and make a
Right,
quick 10
right.
and keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good money. But for me, I just love the rehab so
Okay.
much. So when I see a
Are you
wholesale deal,
handy?
I believe I can do it. I've never really done it, but I
You-
believe I can.
You like the whole process.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Taking it from that,
Mm-hmm.
you
Because
know,
you're a
rundown
boss. That's
house,
why. You bossy.
Well, no. I mean,
That's
I
it.
sit back and be quiet. My team love me. I mean, we laugh,
Yeah.
joke, have a good time. You know, we have fun. You know, when we go to work. And,
Well,
you
no,
know,
not in that manner, but
Mhm.
that's like the stature. You're like, I want to, you like the whole, like for me, I like wholesaling. It's like you said, quick, you get it done and keep it moving. But you do have to kind of love your project that you're flipping and
Mhm.
getting renovated. And so, I mean, it takes me, I'm afraid of a lot of problems.
Can't be afraid. It's gonna be
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
Every
always.
time
You
you go,
gotta
especially real estate.
anticipate that. Yeah.
Real estate haven't taught me something. It definitely taught me patience.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my patience is, really good.
Mhm.
You know, and we all know we had settlement, waiting on the settlement to go through. The next thing, the loan got
Yeah.
rejected.
Maybe
And
that's
now you
why
gotta
she
get a
always
whole new
says I'm
loan.
really calm, and you seem to have that same calm. Maybe
Yeah.
that's
That's
where I
the
got it.
generation.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Because
I
I'm
mean,
waiting
I-
on settlement.
It's-
That big
yeah,
check.
yeah.
That big check.
You-
The next thing you
right
know,
there
you
at the
coming and you
table,
ready
yeah.
to flip the
Yeah.
table, but you can't.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me. That's
You
me.
can't.
And
you
it
know?
usually works out, is what you find out too.
Absolutely.
does.
And
It
it
has
works
to,
out in
though.
a whole better
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
That's interesting you say that though, because she's always saying, "How are you always so calm?"
Because I'm not.
I've never
I'm
thought about it like that.
freaking
Real estate
out.
definitely
Yeah.
make you calm.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
good. Maybe
stuff.
my day is coming because I'm always still like, oh my God, what has gone wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you all tuned in today. The three that are still left. Hello, everyone. I don't know who's there, but it looks like lots of my family. Hello, Carol and
Is that Clinton right there?
Tarvisha.
Yeah, I see a Clinton.
Oh,
in
there's
there.
Hey,
Clinton.
Yeah,
Hi, Clinton.
yeah.
Truesdale, what's up?
What's going on, peeps?
And my mom. Hello. And my daughter must be watching. So, anyways, thank you for tuning in. I just like to end off and just tell everybody with all the information and the knowledge that you just received here, go do something that's going to make it work for you. Hashtag go do. I'm just saying.
Just do it.
Just do it. I like
Go
it.
do something positive, productive, and profitable. Thank you so much for tuning in to Keeping Washington in Washington.
Next time we will be. Did you sign off already?
Nope.
When are we on again?
Oh, look, we have 6 now.
When are we on
Everyone's-
again?
Don't ask me that many questions while I'm doing something,
sorry.
please. I can't.
The